Yo guys, what's going on? It's Ace is here today with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the revival of Escape from Tarkov. But first, I do have a couple of announcements here at the beginning of the video, so if you're not interested in that, scroll through it a little bit. But before you scroll, make sure you drop that like. I appreciate you. So, let's talk about it, man. What I'm going to be talking about in today's video is a couple of the changes BSG have made, but as I said, a couple things we got to say first. Guys, the reserve series I was going to do, learning reserve series, I talked about in my lack of content video. That's going to be pushed back probably by a week or so. I got some cool stuff going on that I'm excited to tell you guys about very, very soon, probably in a week. But just know that series is going to be pushed back just for that time being. So I hope you guys aren't too disappointed. But like I said, a little bit of pushback there. Just want to give you guys the best content possible. I will explain that more in depth in the weeks to come. And then another thing, guys, if you are interested in the NFT market at all, the Aces Gaming Rookie NFT is now available. I minted 50 of these for you guys. So I did receive some feedback that the very first NFT I released, which was a one of one, I wanted to give some exclusivity to it. Nobody really was interested at the price point on that. So I decided to make something that every single person who is interested in the NFT space can afford for my very first NFT here on the channel. So if you guys are interested in that, I will leave a link in the description for you guys to check it out. Let's hop into it, man. We got 3 big changes recently for Escape from Tarkov, and it's going to affect 3 different parts of the player base, which is actually super, super fun, interesting, spices the game up, and gets all of the players back in the game. So, or I should say most of them. So the first change being level 15 flea market. Why this is super important? It's because every single player who is between level 13, maybe even 12 if you want to throw 12 in there, but I would say between 13 and 19, every single player in the player base who keeps up with any updates or in the community at all, who is between level 13 and level 19, all those players now have a reason to come back. The reason level 13s and 14s have a reason to come back with level 15 flea market is because 2 levels is very achievable. Even if it only takes them 2-3 days, they're still going to get that flea market instead of taking another month of time to get up to 20. Anybody who's already level 15 and 19, they're instantly getting the flea market. And that's why we saw all the prices crash recently in the flea market, because all those players had all this gear in their inventory and they just dumped it on the market to get rubles, and then they bought whatever they wanted to get. So all those players are now coming back. They have access to the flea market and they can enjoy the game the way they want to, instead of just literally eating shit like 10 times longer than they usually do. And that's more pointed at the casual players. Like, if you really wanted the flea market, you can get from level 0 to 20 in just a week. It's actually fairly easy, but for the casual players, it might take them a month, even 2. So the next change was Kappa. Now, this one isn't going to affect nearly as much of the player base like the flea market change, but Kappa being changed to 62 actually makes it pretty achievable for a lot of Mega Chads. Now, don't get me wrong, if all those players had quit when they hit level 40, getting level 40 to 62, that's going to take a lot of playing. But let's say somebody stopped playing near level 50 or level 55. 55 to 62 is very achievable to do. It's going to take a decent amount of time, so it's going to take you probably a month. But if you grind out some labs, or, you know, at least grind some PvP and maybe factory, or even on customs, you can actually rack up a lot of scav kills, a lot of PMC kills. So, you know, if you are grinding that, you can easily achieve Kappa this way, assuming you have all your streamer items as well. I think they're fairly easy to get, actually, because of how much time it actually does take to level up. You have plenty of time to find them all. The next and final change was the loot buff. The loot buff affects literally every single player in the game, and that's where we wrap all this together. We had a very, you know, minute change for the Chads. We had a pretty decent change for some of the casuals and the rats, but overall, we have a just game-wide change with the loot. The loot has been increased. The algorithmic change, that was a 27% chance. It basically affects all of the world loot in general, just how much loot is available. And, you know, 27% in that algorithm to, you know, increase the loot around the world is going to be fantastic for players who are struggling to make money. Now, I have a, you know, a bunch of money series here on the channel where you can make money just sitting in the flea market and, you know, get yourself an extra 50K if you need it. But when it comes to actually playing and enjoying the game, which is a lot of people want to do, they don't want to sit here and grind out a flea market just to make 50K. Completely understand that. But, you know, when it comes to everybody as a whole getting more loot and being able to make more money, obviously in-game inflation is going to go up on some of those higher-end items. But at the end of the day, it's going to help them max out their hideouts. It's going to help them with a lot of things in general. And let's be honest, a lot of those casuals who really need that money, they're not buying slicks 24/7. They're buying the armor class 3s, armor class 4s, just enough to get by. So I think overall, BSG killed it. I think they did a great job with these changes. I think they did think about it, what they were going to do. Now, did it take too long? I would say yes, absolutely. I think it was probably a month late. I think as soon as they saw things going south, they should have did something about it. That's just my opinion, but I think BSG did a phenomenal job on the changes they made on thinking about every single player involved here. And, you know, I always say it. I'm telling you guys they care. Maybe they're just not as efficient with the, you know, time management and getting things done right away and on time. But other than that, they care. Great game developer, and Tarkov is still going to be a great game. And just don't bring up the cheating problem in the comments. We know. We know what's going on. BSG is very aware of it, and if you guys take any bit of time to research how big the problem actually is, then you'll understand BSG is doing the best they can. That's where we're going to leave it off, guys. The revival of Escape from Tarkov. I hope you guys are enjoying some raids recently. Like I said, big announcements coming up here within the week or so. Yeah, and that reserve series is going to be pushed back a little bit due to unforeseen circumstances regarding the little announcement. So, that's where we're going to be at. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, sponsor in the equipment description below. That's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm out.